Welcome to We Use Our Powers for Good. We're Dory and Meg, two sisters, 10 years apart, using our powers for good. We talk about grief, life, love, and everything in between, with humor, honesty, and the hope that what we're learning might help you too. This is what it looks like to practice compassion, hold boundaries, and stay connected, even when life gets messy. We're so glad you're here. Hi. Okay. Um, so we're going to do another series again. As life would have it, we've had some things happen since we last were here. Within the last week, we had a family crisis. It's not something that we're going to share because it's not our story to tell. But out of our experience with that, we've put together some things that we want to share and just using our own life experience as an opportunity to learn from. So we're going to talk about in our little series is hitting rock bottom, what that looks like for the person hitting rock bottom, and then what that could look like for the family and the people that are around that person. So um, why don't we start with you kind of, we'll use you as the example. I mean, we all have some rock bottoms we could
Right.
share.
Well, and we talked a little bit about it at some point, but I think it's relevant because of what I've learned from my clients and people with children and this time of life we're all living, that children overachieving is a big sign of trouble, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in college, it was, I don't know how soon after mom had passed, like a
Yeah,
year and a half or so.
yeah.
So I was working on a double major.
But hold on a minute. When our mom died, Meg was 19.
I was 19.
So this is a year and a half later. So she's 20 and a half.
21.
21. No, but I mean, just to contextualize, like, you're really young.
Well, and it's interesting because I say that because, like, oh, right, I could drink. And you guys threw me an intervention thinking it was alcohol.
Yeah.
And there was no language for mental health, and it wasn't. And I remember being like, I'm not eating and I'm not sleeping, which now, oh, you're not eating and you're not sleeping is such a red flag, right?
Right. And you're going to say this in a minute, but the other part of that is as you shared things that were going on with you, it didn't really make sense. And you were telling different people different things. And this is before cell phones.
Right.
So we're trying to put together what's happening, and no one has all the pieces. So no one could step back and go, it's not alcohol. It's
Right. And I
she's
was like,
crashing, you know?
everybody's contacting me all at once. So I was working on a doubles honors project, working 30 hours a week. I didn't have a car, so I was biking everywhere. And I would like literally eat while I was biking. I remember like mastering the art of
That's really safe.
sandwich in one hand.
Yeah, I mean, that just sounds safe.
And I was off to go backpack Europe for 3 months, study abroad. And the guy I was dating, who I thought was the love of my life, who was definitely my alcoholic father, but
That's another episode.
So he was moving us from the place we were living. We were together for a couple of years to the place we were living to another place. So while I was gone, he moved us. And he had access to all of my things because he moved us. And at that point, didn't have, there was no computer, there was no no phone.
Right.
So I had sort of planned everything out to a T with money and everything. So when I was gone, he met up with me at the end of this 3 months. And when he showed up, he was a different person. And he was crazy. Like, he'd lost all that weight. He was super hyperactive. And we got into some fight some night, and he threw me down some stairs in Rome. And, we're in like a 13th century beautiful space. And this, anyway, so it was a big, hard fall. And Mike was there. And he was just like, you guys,
This is our brother.
what are you doing? And I knew it was over. It was like, oh, it was so clear that this is my father, right? Like, I need to get out. So I came home. He ended up, I went to go buy something at the store, and I had, they were like, oh, your credit card was declined. Your debit card was declined. Turns out he drained my accounts. And then my best friends contacted me, and they're like, Meg, we've got some news. As it turns out, he became a cocaine dealer and was doing this. So all of this, I now come home, and then he's moved us, and I'm living in this space that I'm like by myself in now, and it was a house and this attic space, and I was scared. And where is he? I didn't see him since Rome. Is he in town? Now I'm like, he's a cocaine addict. What is this? He had access to my accounts. Anyway, so then it was like, okay, well, I just continue with my double majors, continue with my blah 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 blah. And then everybody starts calling me, you know. And so I ran back to Rome that was where I felt safe and where people were not telling me I had to get back to normal. Get over it, you know. And except for you. And so I lost my passport. I was
You
not,
lost your passport in Rome.
or maybe set it on fire, but I was not coming back.
That's another episode also.
But no, I didn't set it on fire. That's illegal. So my brother had to come rescue me because I ended up at the embassy. It was like, you need to come home. But I wasn't sleeping. So I'd have these bouts. And then I was like so nauseous. I remember just these butterflies I couldn't control. And I wouldn't sleep for days. And I was just so activated. And then I'd just be in this manic state. And so my brother came to get me. And by the time I came home, I was just like total surrender. I was so exhausted. And I just knew that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how else to proceed. And I guess that was rock bottom. So, so my other brother takes me to the ER and then tries to put me in the psych ward. And explained to the guy what I was experiencing. I was like, I just want to sleep for 48 hours. I don't know what's happening, but I know I can't eat and I can't sleep. I don't feel good. I'm scared. My ex-boyfriend did this. And I remember also like consciously like, and my dad was like this, and my mom just died, like all these things. And the doctor came out and, he was just like, if we keep her overnight, she's very susceptible to what she will be exposed to, and this could push her over the edge. I think she's just had a really bad go of it, and I think she just needs some family in a safe home. Mm. And I could just see Jerry go, because he has two small.
We need some help.
He has two small kids at home, and he's like, "Now I got to take in my crazy sister."
Or we don't have the tools to deal with this.
Sure.
Like we don't know what we're doing.
So then, then it was like, you are bipolar. You have to be in lithium. This is the rest of your life. Bye. It was like, what? Wait. And I was a art major, and at each prescription I took, it was like I fried off the ends of my soul. It was like I couldn't be myself anymore. I couldn't form a clear thought. So then we just kept switching medications, and I think perhaps there's a time and place for medications, of course, but it never felt good to me. And you were the only one in my court at that time, and you were like, Meg, there's got to be another way. And I just remember you were like, I'm researching this. There has to be another way. And at that point, I started sleeping. Things became clear again. Night and day were night and day, and it was within 6 months. Mm-hmm. And it's taken me a long time to navigate what all this was in the language, because the language that they told me was like, oh, this is your life forever. And it was like every 7 years you're going to go through this cycle. You're going to have to keep taking these meds. I haven't taken them since. Mm-hmm. And I've never had another episode. And since then, it took me a long time to let go of the bipolar diagnosis. Mm-hmm. Because I felt like, well, that's a system that's been around, and this is what's safe, and this is, mm-hmm. if, I trust this. Mm-hmm. But then really it was like, if I don't advocate for myself, then who will?
Right.
Well, you.
But when we didn't know, we just didn't know. It was this 20 plus years ago, right?
So right. So fast forward to now, and I think navigating with you and talking about it, because for so many years it was like this. I just can't really see clearly what this experience was, mm-hmm. because I was so malnourished, because I was so sleep deprived, because I was so sad, because I was so scared.
So many things.
That the clarity is. It's taken this many years, but I do know that my gut instinct was always to trust my gut, to trust you. Mm-hmm. So here we are now, and I'm like, okay, that's like not a superpower, and I don't look back and think, oh my God, I was so strong. It was just a glimmer of hope in a different direction that I just stayed focused on,
right,
consistent, which was,
Well, and we'll talk more about this in the series. One is that some of your makeup is being curious.
Yeah.
Right? You had someone in your corner, thank God.
Yeah.
And the other piece of this is why we wanted to talk about it is that Meg then shared this experience with a person in our life that's having a crisis. And was able to meet them there.
Yeah. And several people involved came to me for advice, which was shocking. I was like, me? Like, I know that's not my story now, but a part of me is like, but I had that experience. You trust me.
Right.
And everyone else is like, oh, we fully trust you, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You've, that never defined you. It
Right.
empowered you, but it wasn't, did not be. And I'm like, ah, shit, I got 20 some years under my belt. Not like, I don't know. It's just so interesting.
Right. And a key piece for this first episode is just being aware of being willing to be vulnerable with someone, to share your story and your learning, allow someone to be seen, which is when you're struggling really big, and to be able to name the components of their experience and let them know that it's okay and it's normal and there's nothing wrong with you. And I've been there, is huge.
So we're going to break that down in the next several episodes.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks for being here with us. We'll be back with more. This is what healing can look like, together with tools, laughter, and love. If this conversation meant something to you, share it with someone who could use it. And if you want more of what real connection sounds like, hit subscribe and come along. Thanks for joining us on We Use Our Powers for Good.